let me get to the group, and we will get started. It's gonna be a good day. I'm excited about this one. People have been asking me to do this for a little bit, just because it seems apropos. I don't know what that word means, but I've seen it used before in that context, so I'm assuming it's apropos to use the word apropos. Yeah, I mean, people are talking about. Frank's got a question. Probably let me answer this real quick because he's in the wrong place. Refresh the page. Just went live. Woo. Okay. Cool. Let me see if we're working. Let me see if I can see myself, first of all. Hopefully you guys are all with me. Hopefully everyone's alive and kicking. Where's my... Come on, show me the group, dummy. My camera's in the way, so I can't see anything. Are we live? Looks like we are. Can I see myself, please? I get real anxious when I start because Facebook likes to change things up. Hey, okay, there we are. Hey, everybody. Hey, Jeff. Joan from a very foggy Bakersfield. James Fox is so here for this. Robin's coffee ran out. Hopefully this will keep you awake. I don't know. My beautiful mug and voice has not been known to keep people awake. Just go over to my YouTube channel for my fiction and see all the wonderful comments on my narration. I've been uploading my narrated videos, the ones that I narrated with my AI clone, to YouTube to monetize and like try to get some traction there. You know, it's a test, and it's working well. But yeah, people are like, this is just. I mean, people. You keyboard warriors out there, man. Tell you what, you just keep going. One day, someone's gonna listen to your opinion. I promise you. We'll be here for it. Anyway, it's not true. Don't be like that. Jeff's in Alaska. Probably nice and warm up there. Did you guys get hit with that cold blast we got last weekend? It seemed like it was all the western, central part of the United States. East Coast was okay, I think. Yeah, it's gonna be some good stuff. You're gonna see my screen in just a minute. I've got that set up. Knock on some wood. Hopefully working well. Hopefully not blowing up. But how's everyone doing? How's the new year treating you? Let me clean these off because I can't see anything but fog. Drop a line in the comment. How you doing? How's the new year? You guys getting off to a good start? How many books have you written yet in 2024? Hopefully 24. I'm not going to try to bite off that like I did last year. 24 and 24 seems excessive. I was going to do 23 and 23, and I think I could have done it. But then this thing called Draft to Digital came right in the middle, right at the beginning of the year, and kind of derailed me. For good reason, though, right? Minus 30, Jeff. Get out. Oh, snowed in Vancouver, Wes. Yeah, your Canucks are looking good, man. I got to say, I'm kind of surprised. I don't know why. Don't know why they're doing so well. Joan's got a new book coming out. Grats. That's always good. Luis is third way through the next book, 25K. Awesome. Good to hear it. Yeah, I'm about 1/3 in my current work in progress. It's a follow-up to the Solomon Key, or as my friend David Wood says, the Solo Monkey. It's the Earth Uncovered series. Frank's got final edits. Dude, well done. That's my least favorite part of the process is final edits. I can't. I've seen the book so many times at that point. I'm like, just get it out of here. I'll publish the first draft if I don't have to look at the book anymore. Kevin, 24 and 24 sounds cool. Seems like it might set a bad precedent. Yeah, that's the problem. I did it last year and I was like, oh, this would be great. And then I was like, I can't follow this. I can't keep going. What am I, 25 and 25? Lord willing, I'll live to 300 years old. And what's it going to be then? 135 and 2135. Doing well with... No, I can't do math, by the way. Heavy rewrites. Neha's doing a heavy rewrite. First draft didn't feel right. Well, good for you. I mean, I couldn't do it. I'd be like, well, didn't feel right. That's what you get, readers. Sorry. So good for you for sticking through it. I think that's the testament of a real writer. I always feel like an imposter because you guys are like rewriting your stuff. Charity multi-author project Robin's got going on. That's cool. I did one. There was a Ukraine thing we did a couple years ago now, whenever that was, the new thing. Tracy's finishing up book 3. A companion game. That's cool. Is this like lit RPG? I don't remember what you write, Tracy. I thought you were more in the I thought you were doing romancy type stuff. Romancy like fantasy. Romantasy? That's what it's called. Romantasy. Maybe not. Sorry. James finished final edits on Soul Saga 3. And, guys, this man has an incredible movie that he made. Correct? Yes, you heard me correctly. You publicly launched it, I believe, right? It's out. You can watch it now. Drop the link in there, James, man. Talk about that. It's pretty sweet. It's cool. It's good. I haven't finished it yet. I'm about halfway through. I got carried away when you were sending it to me. But dude, I'm impressed, man. It's cool. And he doesn't know this yet, but I'm gonna do the music for his next one. No, he probably does know that. All right. Was that loud? Sorry. Looked like it was loud. OBS was like, don't do that anymore. Stop that. We're talking about AI. So we're going to dive in here. It looks like we got a good crowd this morning. So here's what we're going to do. If you are tuning in with your eyeballs and looking at me on any other platform besides Facebook, I love you. Thank you for being there. I ain't going to see your stuff live. Okay? That's all right. That's just the way it is. That's a disclaimer. I can only be in so many places at once. And if you could see my screen now, you would see, actually here, check this out. You can see my screen. I'm looking at like 3 of me all at the same time, and they're all going at different times. So you can, that's what I get to look at. And eventually what you guys are going to look at too. But not yet. We will get into it later. Cool. So if you are looking at me from any other place besides the Book Career in a Year Facebook group, that's fb.com/groups or group/BCIAY. Go check me out on that group. Go join the group because it's the place to be. Gentry's here. I mean, why wouldn't you want to be here? But no, I'm looking at the comments as we go. I can see all of 4 of them. So thanks, Facebook, for being really helpful. But if you are in the group, jump in, drop a comment. Don't feel like you need to wait till the end. I'll try to see it kind of in situ. Is that the right way to use that? Is that apropos? But I don't know. We'll get to it. And if I don't get your comment or question, re-up at the end, right? So you guys have been with me for a while. What's up, Matt? Hey, bud. Yeah, like you know the drill. So just drop a comment, drop a question. If I don't see it, if I don't answer it, it's because I got something going on in my own head and I can't talk to you at the moment. But just re-up at the end, and we'll definitely answer it because I got a lot I want to talk about. I got a lot I want to show you. That's the best part about this one. I got my screen share all ready to go, and it looks like we tested it. It worked okay. It's gonna be a wild ride, but I want to talk about why before we jump into this. Okay. Now, you guys are all kind of on the same page, I believe, with this AI stuff. You recognize it's a tool. It's not going to take over the world. It's not Skynet yet, right? But for those of you who don't agree with that or don't understand that or don't know that, I'm just going to be real blunt because I have a coach, and she told me that directness is like my superpower, and I don't need to be afraid of that. I need to acknowledge that people listening to me when I go talk at presentations and conferences are big boys and big girls, and they can handle the message behind the words. I don't need to waste time making it sound nice. So here's the deal. If you are still on the fence about AI, but you kind of feel like this is the end of the world as we know it for authors, you need to educate yourself because you're wrong. Okay? There, I said it. This is a tool, folks. Yes, there are ethical and moral things to discuss, but none of us are lawyers, and none of us are fighting this in the Supreme Court of the United States and all the other courts around the world, but they are, okay? And so I will just wait until they tell me to use or not to use whatever tool that we're talking about. I'm not saying that's a perfect system and a perfect solution, but it's what it's, right? It is what it is. And that's the way it is right now. If you believe that using AI is theft, then stop using a computer, okay? Don't use Microsoft Word's grammar checker. Don't use Grammarly Pro Writing Aid. Don't open Photoshop. Don't have a designer who uses Photoshop to do your book cover. Challenge accepted, right? How do they do that? Just stop using a computer, because everything that we're talking about is not actually artificial intelligence. It's just computer software, okay? It's either a large language model, a neural net, machine learning algorithm, or some combination of those 3. It's not artificial and it's not intelligence, but we call it AI because the news told us to call it AI because that makes people scared. And what gets clicks more than people being scared, okay? There's my riff. Hope I didn't lose anybody. Let me just scroll up. Ooh, no, you're all still here with me. Probably because it's on like a 7-second delay. So I'll just watch that number go down. But look, I know you all personally at this point, the ones I've seen. If you're watching me from some other place on the internet, hey, sorry, that's my opinion about this whole thing, okay? If you don't think that anything I said is correct, you're wrong. Go educate yourself. I'll wait. Actually, I won't. I'm going to keep going. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to show you how I use AI. Again, not AI, but that's what we're going to call it, right? I'm going to use some tools to help me along the path of marketing my fiction. All right. Some of this is indirect marketing, which means it's a tool to use to create other tools that will help me with my marketing, right? It's not like type into ChatGPT, advertise my book, and then go for it. I wish we were there, but we're not there yet. Point is, I'm going to show you stuff that I'm hoping will be descriptive. Okay. I'm going to show you how I do this. I'm not saying this is prescriptive, that you have to do this. I'm just saying this is what I do, and this has helped me along the way. You don't have to follow my lead if you don't want to. I'm just going to show you what's possible. I think you all know that, but again, disclaimers are important because I don't want people coming and getting their pitchforks out and yelling at me when they see me in person. You can do it all you want online because you can't touch me. I'm behind a computer screen. Using these tools is a way to take advantage of the efficiency provided by computers, okay? This is not anything different. I mean, it is different, but it's not really conceptually different than what computers have always done from the advent of computing, right? Typewriters to word processors. This is just a really, really, really fast and really, really, really good, arguably, way of being more efficient, right? It's like leaps and bounds, right? We just took a lot of steps at once in less than a year. So I'm going to show you what I do here. And what we're going to do is dig into some of these tools. I'm going to tell you how I use them. I'm going to show you how I use them. And you can literally see the output as it comes out. So this is all real time. I haven't pre-recorded anything. Bear with the tech side. You're going to see I got to control this from OBS because I don't have my Stream Deck set up. But I'll make it as small as possible because all I need to do is click the little button. But here we go. Let me jump in, show you my screen. I could probably even move this away even more. Let's do that. Oh, yeah, no, that's not going to work. Never mind. Okay, so you should be seeing my screen now. I'm going to move the Facebook thing out of the way because we don't want to do that just yet. And the first thing we're going to dig into is Midjourney. Okay, like I said, there's a lot going on the screen. Just focus on the center. I'll try to look at the center here too. But you should be seeing my my screen. This is Discord. It is an app that I do not like, but it is what it is. The Midjourney folks, the people behind that company, are using Discord, which is it's like Slack. It's like an instant messaging app kind of situation. A lot of gamers use it because it's just real like gamery. But they use it. This is the only way to use Midjourney. You have to get Discord installed, but it's a free app. Download it on Windows, Mac, whatever, even on your phone. And it does make it kind of nice because you don't have to have an extra app. You can just use Discord. And, if you're on any communities or anything like that, like I am, you can see all these communities over here. There's Dale Roberts. Then you can use it for other stuff. But point is, we're talking Midjourney here. And so there's a few things that I use Midjourney for all the time. You can see here, there's a photo book of pictures of exotic and iconic places, comic book style, warm maroon tones. I'll explain what that means later, don't worry. But what I want to point out is everything in Midjourney is text-based, and it starts with a prompt. The prompt is always /imagine, and then it gives you this automatic prompt box that says, well, what do you want to do? And I'm going to say a picture of author Nick Thacker sitting and working in his study. And let's see what it says. We're just going to leave it at that, okay? I want to if you've never seen this before, if you have seen this before, it's probably rehashing for you. If you've never seen this before, I just want you to show you what happens so you can understand this process. It's not immediate. You can see that it does give you an update. So depending on how much you pay them, basically you can get higher in line or whatever. And I think I'm on the $20 a month tier or something. So it will generate 4 images at a time. Now, there are parameters I could have used. I can put what we call flags and shell speak or anything like that. Yeah, Kevin's like, this ought to be funny. It is. Trust me, this is not the first time I've done this. But as you should know, everyone, this is generative. So I've never seen this output before. I've just seen stuff similar to it. This all depends on, do they know who Nick Thacker is, right? Does Midjourney, this machine learning algorithm, have in its library, in its corpus, any pictures or photographs of Nick Thacker and associate that name with what I look like? As you can see, it's not completely accurate, but that's fine. That's the point. This is not a tool to produce a perfect replica of the Mona Lisa. It is designed to do exactly the opposite of that, essentially. It's designed to generate something, and we can tweak it and form it and force it in some ways to produce the Mona Lisa, but it's always going to be a little bit imperfect because It's literally built not to plagiarize, not for that reason, but because it's generative. That's how this works. So what happened here is it gave me 4 images, and I didn't give it any flags, meaning I didn't give it any variables. So this is the kind of the default output. It gave me these 4 pictures of what it thinks Nick Thacker looks like. That guy looks better than me. It's like John Krasinski, Nick Thacker. So I like that one. We're going to use that one. So what you do at this point is you can actually click on this image and view all 4 like I just did, or you can click these buttons down here. And these are very simply, U means upscale and V means variation, right? So I can literally take variation 4 and make 4 more variations on it. Now, I've got my Midjourney set. I'm not going to go into this because this is a little bit too in the weeds. But the remix prompt always pops up, this dialog box, because I have my Midjourney set that way. Default is to not have that set that way. So if I press V4, it just like kind of shows, it just does variations of that image. Does that make sense? So I'm going to vary this image with some flags here. I'm going to 2 hash marks. We don't want to make that an M dash. I've set that on my Mac because I love my M dash. But we want to do AR, which is, I can't remember what it stands for, but it's the aspect ratio. That's what it is. Aspect ratio, we're going to do 9 by 16 because we're looking at kind of taking this 16 by 9 and turning it vertically because I'm going to put this in a book, for example, right? So you could do that. Another thing you can add is those images were cool, but you can kind of tell they almost look like paintings, right? So I'm going to just say, I don't know why I did that. That's weird. Come on, get out of here. Sorry, guys. I knew there was going to be a little bit of back and forth as we get this. Photorealistic. I like that tag. Another one that's popular, Octane Render. Octane is like a gaming engine. So basically, I'm just trying to get a really, really perfect looking picture that looks like an actual picture, even though it's not going to be of me. I liked kind of the general layout of that side profile, whatever, from that picture. So we're just going to tweak it a little bit. But the point of all this is just to show you what's possible. So now when I press submit, the same thing will happen. It's just going to use this image, this quadrant 4, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4 is how this works. So we're waiting for it. It's going to do a remix, what they call it. I did see a question. I think it was from Robin. Can you upload an image? Yes, you can. I can show you that in a second. I think I have an image of myself. Let's do that. I think I do. Hold on. Go away. And then we're going to drag this in there. Look at that. It's me. We're going to see what happens there. Okay. So here's our picture. It's done. It looks like it followed. Yeah. So these are kind of, you can see these are the same image, obviously variated, variations on a theme, if you will. And it's got the aspect ratio correctly, but it didn't just squash the image. You know, it's actually giving us a picture. And it does look photorealistic. I can play with lighting. I can say like cinematic lighting, for example, as a variable. But I want to move on, so we'll keep going with this. So what we're going to do now is I uploaded this image. You saw what I did. Just dragged it into the box, pressed go or return, enter. And then I'm going to click it. Hey, Nick. And then I'm going to copy this image just like that. And then watch this. If I go again, let me go back up to the one that's kind of looking more, see my face. Let's do this one. So we're going to do variations on 2. And I'm going to paste in, hello, paste in, maybe that didn't work. Was it the link I need to get? Why did that not work? Maybe I need to, maybe I just need to do it in this one. Hold on. Come on. Computer's going slow. Yeah, it's not saving that. Okay. Maybe it's the link. Sorry, guys. Let me try this again. Copy the link. Oh, okay. Thanks, guys. See, I knew there was something I was going to forget. I don't do this quite enough to have it memorized. But yeah, so I'm going to copy the link. And we're going to just paste that in at the beginning of my prompt. We're going to keep everything else the same, okay? So now it knows that we're using variation 2, which is this guy down here. But we want to use this image. And so it's going to interpret what that means. It may not be perfect. It might take my face only. It might take my awesome biceps. It might take my fat gut and, you know, oh, he needs to be fatter. That's all he wants. But we're leaving it up to the image. But you can already see, you know, this is at 35% done. It kind of looks like me, guys. I'm not going to lie. Look at that. So that's kind of neat. You can throw that in there. I'm jumping ahead here, but this is how I've used Midjourney to create some characters. So I find a picture of an actor, actress that looks like my person, and I go in there and I say, hey, this is my character. Drag it in there, and then now create the character doing something like this. Yeah, James, welcome to the gun show. Look at that gun, man. They did take my bicep in there. So, I mean, it's like an older, arguably better looking version of me, but dude, that's kind of good. I'm not going to lie. I kind of have that like, all right, moving on. Cool. Another thing I use Midjourney for all the time is add images. Matt James is in here. He does this as well. This is super simple. So let's take my Harvey Bennett series. We're talking Yellowstone National Park, eruption, the caldera, the volcano erupted, whatever. And, oh wow, this is way behind. Sorry, I just noticed how far behind we were. That's okay. It's all right. We're still going. Have no fear. We're still going. So the prompt this time is going to be, I'm going to say, we're going to keep the square aspect ratio is great because it's an add image. We want square. By the way, square is good for add images because you can use them on every platform essentially without having to worry about, aspect ratio. So we're going to just do eruption at Yellowstone National Park. Now remember, we're not getting a perfect image of Yellowstone because it's not going to copy and plagiarize a photograph somebody else took, right? It's not going to go get Getty Images and then give us an exact shot of that, but it's going to get pretty close. We just want the vibe of Yellowstone National Park, so I'm totally fine with that. Eruption at Yellowstone National Park, man and woman watching. Let's just see what it does with that. I'm putting a comma after every kind of phrase, and I've found that Midjourney does well with 2 to 3. If you keep going, it starts to kind of lose its mind a little bit. It tries to do too much at once. No worries, though. And then I'm going to do scene. I found this works really well for me from an action-adventure thriller novel. And then last, I'm going to do Facebook ad image, just so that it knows what we're after, ultimately. And then that's it. I'm going to do that and see what happens. This will give us 4 different interpretations of an eruption of some kind. If it happens to know that the Yellowstone caldera is the largest active volcano in the world, then it's going to probably give us a volcano eruption. Eruption tends to imply volcanic, so I would imagine that's what we're going to get. And I've also done this before, so I kind of know generally what this is going to look like. But already I can see my ad image taking shape. This is great. I'm probably going to use all 4 of these as ad iterations. And if you listen to me a lot, you know that ads are testing. Okay, this stuff is all... I'll move this guy out of the way. You can see my 2023 plan because it's not even 2023 anymore. All right, here we go. So 93%, we're almost done. Let's go and see where we are here. Yeah, look at that, man. It's kind of cool. Not gonna lie, that's a little weird. I don't know what's going on. It's kind of a weird eruption. That one looks kind of like a bomb, maybe, which is absolutely part of the book. This one just looks really neat. Maybe there's like a Godzilla kaiju in there somewhere. But this one looks like a traditional kind of thing. They even put some little words in there because it knows that these types of ads often have text on them, right? So this is generative AI, folks. We would go in there and Photoshop, which also has generative AI built in. I would simply put, I can't do it because it's too much. My computer would like literally explode if I tried to open it right now and take too long. But you press M, which is the marquee tool, drag a marquee around that. That's the select tool, right? You just drag a square around that. The generative AI thing would pop up, and you would not even press anything. You would just say, go. And what that tells Photoshop's generative AI is, I want to just remove whatever's in this. And it knows, okay, you're talking, I'm going to remove this text. And it would just get rid of it and fill it in with whatever that thinks the background is. And it works pretty much flawlessly every time. It's also AI, so don't be scared of it. Add images. So you can see this is a great way of generating a bunch of iterations here. I don't have to go find different stock photos for each of these people. I certainly can, but this saves a ton of time because I'm not using this. I'm not selling this. I'm not saying, hey, this is my art. Make a canvas portrait and sell it to you for $5. I'm just using it for an ad, and I don't need to be wasting my time building a bunch of ads because ads isn't the goal. Selling books is the goal. Writing books and selling books is the goal. So anything that I can use to basically outsource, right? Lastly, I want to talk about stylistic continuity here. In here, you've seen an example of that with something like this image. But Midjourney is great at stylistic continuity. It tends to do the same sorts of styles when you ask the exact same sorts of things. So if we scroll back up here, you'll see I'm using comic book style and warm maroon tones in each of these images, and it's giving me now, obviously these look very different. This one did come out different than the rest of them, but I get a lot of images that look like this. It looks like a comic book. And I'm using these in my on the fiction side of my social stuff, and you can see I've played with them, I've iterated with them. These are upscales from this image here, but you get the idea, right? And then I'm using, I'll show you how I do this in ChatGPT in just a minute, but this is a great way to generate a bunch of social media posts at the same time. All right, speaking of social media, actually, let me do this real fast. I'm not going to show you Leonardo, which is another tool like Midjourney because I don't want to run out of time. But Leonardo does a really great job with photorealism, I've found. They're obviously, they do different things, and they do some similar things as well. Static issue has returned. Damn it! Let me try this. Okay. Any better? Is that working? Maybe, maybe. Looks like it's coming through, but I don't know if we're connected anymore, so that's fun. Might have to start over. I told you there's going to be a technical disaster if I try to open Photoshop. Come on. Jeez. I'll wait. I'm seeing spinning beach ball over here. What in the world? Now I see reconnecting. You hear me now? You can see me now? Oh, okay, cool. Great. I don't see myself, but that's okay. We'll keep going. Okay, what I was talking about, sorry, I'm just trying to, I think I'm still recording on OBS. So again, if everything just goes to shit, then we'll just put the recording up. Okay, sorry, intermission. Hope you guys got a potty break. Leonardo is another tool that I don't use very often. I do have an account. My cover designer, Dave Behrens, loves it. He says it's great. It's kind of almost exclusively uses that now. You can do the same sort of stuff. You prompt it. Leonardo, though, has a lot of, I like its interface a lot better than rather than typing in things to, a Discord server, you actually have these, levers you can tweak and things like that. It's much more like playing with 11 Labs for audio, if you've seen that, which we won't have time to talk about, but that's okay. So moving on, I want to show you this tool. Let me click over to my screen capture, and you will see, hopefully, Super Meme. This is a fun one. I really like Super Meme because it's just fun. So part of my goal for Book Career in a Year side of things, or the nonfiction side of things, if you will, is doing more like funny memes. I love funny joke memes and all that. And so what I've done is I've got an account with Super Meme. I think it's $10 a month, so it's really not that bad if you're using it. And you get 100 credits, which is a lot. So what happens is I use their text to meme generator. So watch this. If I say writing is hard. Obviously, you can get a little bit more intricate and fun than that, but I'm going to click generate, and it's going to generate in English, because I've set it to English, a bunch of memes that it thinks will be funny. So this is one when you've been staring at a blank screen for hours, but the only thing you've written is title. Okay, I get it. That's cool. Me at 2 a.m. trying to come up with the perfect meme caption. When you start writing, nothing comes out but frustration. So these are totally usable. Let's do another one just real quick. Here's a good one. Editing is the bane of my existence. So you try to treat these things like they are generative AI, because it is. It's not going to use the exact language that I put in there, but it's going to try to interpret my tone and what I'm after. And so it does a really good job when you try to give it something more than just editing is difficult, editing is hard, right? Give it something funny, for example, and it'll come back with something hopefully kind of funny. When you spend hours editing a photo and it still looks terrible, great. So, okay, it thinks we've been editing photos. So editing my book is the bane of my existence. Now you can see I've just generated a bunch of these. I think it does like 10, maybe, 5, 10, 6 at a time, something like that. And so I've got 97 credits remaining. So this is, it's one image isn't one credit, basically. Credit, I think, is like 2 or 3 images even. Or maybe it's, I think it's this. It's the prompt is the credit. Sorry, trying to figure out what I'm talking about here. Me trying to finish editing my book. So we've seen that image before. That's fine. I didn't watch that. Breaking Bad meme. Good stuff. Yeah, this is funny. Multiple highlighters, sticky notes, color-coded tabs. Your Walter White. So this is a tool that you could use for that. Now, obviously, this is purpose-built for memes, which is generally going to be funny. But you can probably do something for nonfiction or fiction if you're talking about your writing process. For example, me trying to edit my book. So these are, I changed it to the GIF mode. And by the way, it's pronounced GIF with a hard G. I don't care what the creator of the GIF image says. It's not GIF. That's peanut butter. Anyway, sorry, just old joke. When you have to realize you have to edit your book again. So these are getting pretty good. They're pretty funny. My face when someone how's the editing process going. So this is a great tool, guys. I love this one. It's super funny. It's a great way to procrastinate too. But it is really helpful because I can just then download everything. And what I use is I've got a tool on my Mac called I think it's AG Watermark or something like that. But the point is, it puts a little watermark on there. You've probably seen my memes, and it's got my little logo on there, and then like a link to the Facebook group. Because the point is, if one of these happens to go viral, I want credit for that. I took so long to make this meme. I want credit for that. I just thought I'd show you that one. It's kind of fun. Now, I want to jump into ChatGPT because there's a lot of stuff in here, okay? So go away and come here. Kevin McLaughlin actually told me about this handy little tool. This is called Mac GPT. And it's just a skin. It's like an interface for ChatGPT. So you still use your same account. I've just renamed all these so you guys can see what I'm working on. Ooh, Bigfoot Adventure beat sheet. Oh, secrets. Let me just do that so you guys get. This thing is, you can use the native interface, which is more like a chat, like a back and forth chat. I don't really like that. This pulls up the web interface, which is literally just the ChatGPT website. But it's a nice little skin, and it makes it easy because I have this open at all times. And if I need to reference something, I don't have to go to a new browser tab and then get sucked into the Facebook rabbit hole and all that stuff. But I use ChatGPT for all sorts of marketing material. One of the things that I can do is write book descriptions. Now, this is really cool. I'm going to jump forward here and talk about outlining first. Isn't this? Yeah. So Frank, this is for Mac only. Sorry, but go get a Mac. They're just better. I'm just kidding. There's probably a similar tool for Windows, but again, this is just ChatGPT. So just go to chat.openai.com, I think is what it is, right? And it's the same screen. Kevin might know, actually. I think Kevin's a Mac guy, but he probably knows because he knows everything. So one of the things I do, this isn't exactly marketing, but you could do, I had this idea where I was like, what if cryptids were actually real? And I want to do a whole series on. So I said, I'm writing this series of action adventure novels. I'll get to the point. Don't worry, guys. We'll still talk marketing. Each novel is going to tackle a famous cryptid. Each cryptid needs to be explained in real world terms, scientifically, historically, as much as possible, right? It's not magic. It's not, supernatural, speculative, anything like that. The first book will find Bigfoot. And I want you to ask me the top 10 questions dissenters and non-believers ask about Bigfoot so that I can debunk them and prove that Bigfoot's real. I promise I will get to the point and we'll talk marketing with this, but I just want to point out that ChatGPT is great for simple, which is what I would call this prompt, this part of the highlight. And then it's also really good at interactive or more complex, which is where you say, hey, I'm going to do this and I want this. And I want you to ask me questions about this so that you can then give me more answers. Okay, so don't think of ChatGPT as a simple search where it's kind of crafting a response instead of finding a response. Think of it as an actual coworker or co-writer. And it hey, I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions. The problem I have with these cryptid novels is we don't know how to explain away some of these things. How would you do it? Okay, well, what's the top things that people argue against? Okay, so then it says, cool, here you go. Evidence. If Bigfoot's real, why haven't we found clear and indisputable physical evidence, right? Okay, cool. So then you know what I'm going to do next is how would you answer those questions? Okay, well, maybe for evidence, you can suggest that Bigfoot's an extremely rare species with small population. So what I'm doing is, if you know my fiction, I like to have scientific answers. Even if the science is made up, I like to have a scientific or historical underpinning for these things that are fake. And so I know I'm wasting time. But the point is, you can use ChatGPT to kind of coax it along, and then it coaxes you and back and forth until you have a beat sheet. Okay, so I said, well, write a Save the Cat style beat sheet with characters making this Indiana Jones action adventure novel. Okay, cool. So then it actually gives me one. Calls it the Bigfoot Enigma because it knows I'm Nick Thacker. I like the word enigma. But it gives me that. So here's what I want to show you. I've been going through back and forth with this. I don't know if I'll ever write this, but I just want to show you what's possible. Okay, again, I'm not going to use this to write my book, but I will use this to give me some ideas. Now I've got something besides a blank canvas, right? I'm not a painting. I'm not a painter. I don't want to look at a white canvas. I want something there, even if it's just a word, right? But then I can start split. Okay, well, what if it's this word? What's enigma? Okay, what's the other words like enigma? I like that. That's how I brainstorm better. So having somebody to start for me is a great tool. Now, the marketing side of this is easy. What if I ask ChatGPT to write an SEO keyword filled Amazon book description for this novel and series? Okay, now if I'm not doing this live, I'd probably spend a little bit more time crafting. Again, you saw how I would kind of go back and forth and coax it, crafting a book description and saying, hey, ask me questions about my previous books, that kind of thing. And then when you're ready, give me the book description. But you can see, you don't need to write your own book descriptions now, right? Guys, book descriptions aren't the reason your books aren't selling, first of all. So if you think, well, I just need to pay somebody $400 to write my book description, you're wrong. Don't do that. I'm not saying that this is the way to do it and just copy paste it, but this is a good place to start, right? So this is what ChatGPT thinks is a keyword filled. So you got cryptozoologist, probably a good keyword, adventure novels, gripping mysteries. These might be things people type into Amazon. I don't know. I might take this over to Publish Rocket, right, and look at the keyword tool and find out if this is actually something people search for. But the point is, I don't have to start from scratch. Here's where it's giving me some long tail keywords, some discover some riveting adventure in uncharted wilderness, right? Then it always explains itself like, this is the best thing I can do. Another marketing tool I use ChatGPT for is to come up with keywords. So give me 7, because that's how many boxes there are on Amazon. Long tail keywords. Remember, long tail are what Chris Anderson calls a long tail. If you're looking at a graph like this, the long tail is over here. And that means like all the big keywords like book. Remember back book, the AMS ads first came out? Whatever, these are the big keywords. Jodi Picoult, right? George R.R. Martin, Game of Thrones, whatever. These are the high keywords that get all the searches and all the sales. And then all the keywords over here are like the things people search for once a month or 30 times a month or whatever. But the key is that never goes to zero. There's always, that keyword always gets searched for at least once, right? So that's a long tail keyword. Usually what it means in SEO world or Google world is it's a lot of words in the keyword. It's not just one word like mystery novel, or that's 2 words. It's like action, adventure, mystery novels, fast-paced, or something like that would be a long-tail keyword. Anyway, that's an aside. But this is a marketing activity because we need to make sure that we put those keywords in. And if somebody is coming along on Amazon searching for fast-paced action thriller, which is a keyword that I've used before, then we want to show up for that. And again, it's not perfect. That's not the reason your books aren't selling. But all of this together makes your book package that much better. So give me 7 long-tail keywords for Amazon related to this book. Okay, now it's going to give me 7 long-tail keywords. And I don't have to actually do any of the work here. It's like I could literally just copy and paste these. These are fine. I've got a few keywords that I use over and over again, so I'll probably throw some of those in there. But these are great. So sibling adventures, I never would have thought of that. Maybe people are searching for that. Now again, I go and type this into Publisher Rocket and see if people are searching for these keywords. Anyway, it gives you its reasoning down here too as well. Pacific Northwest, some of these localized SEO keywords are really popular. Those work really well for mine, like Yellowstone thriller we talked about. Now you can say, okay, I want you to give me a brief synopsis of what the second book in this series could be. Am I writing? Okay. What the series could be. And it's going to do that, right? You get the point. So you can just go back and forth with this thing all day and say, like, I don't really know what to do. Oh, the Loch Ness Monster. I forgot about that. Great. Cool. Now it's using our same characters that it created. Normally I would have gone through a whole book with this process and changed the character names, given them backstories with the help of coaxing from ChatGPT perhaps. And so then I would give it the new names and say, okay, now Eliza's name is Mel or whatever. And then now we get into this and it gives me, okay, Mel and Nathan or whatever. The point is you iterate with this tool, or at least I do. But this is a great option. So I can use this for a later book. Now I've got another synopsis here. In practice, what I typically will do is when I'm writing this, let's say I'm writing the Loch Ness Legacy, I'm going to be dictating, right? You know me. So I'm dictating, having Dragon poorly transcribe it, missing almost every word. And then I dump it into ChatGPT to fix things up. And then at the end of that, you can see, so I've got one going for my, I think it's up here. I changed all these names, so I didn't want you to see what I was working on because I have some secrets I don't want to tell people about yet. Is it this one? Yeah. So this one is very long. You can see this is my dictation dump, right? Please fix the dictated text. But this is my book, my work in progress for the Earth Uncovered series, book 2. When I get to the end of this, it's going to have my whole book in there. Now, the memory of ChatGPT isn't one whole book yet, but it's pretty good. But it knows the gist of the story. It's kind of got that in there. So in this chat, I'm going to keep this chat around. I'll call it, Earth Uncovered book 2. So I know where it is quickly. Then I would say, hey, I'm working on the third book. I have no idea what to write about, but you get it. Like, you've helped me through this whole book already. What should it be? So you can use this to help outline our next book in the series, right? You can use this for social media posts. You can use this to help you craft. Where did it go? I was just on the. Oh, it didn't move up. Bigfoot Adventure. There it is. Okay. So let's say I'd like to tweet about this book. Please write a tweet thread. Remember what those are? That's like the multiple tweets in one. Introducing. Let's say introducing. I don't want to say selling or anything like that, but this book to thriller fans. All right, and it's going to do that. So one of the things it knows about tweets is that everybody loves emojis. So it's got all these crazy emojis in here. Looks at this little Scottish flag. I mean, cool. So it does all this stuff for us. I don't know. I don't really tweet a lot or X a lot, whatever Elon's calling it. The point is, it can do that without even thinking. One of the things I will do is I need to email my list about this book. And I hate writing emails. I'm not going to tell ChatGPT that, but I hate writing emails. I don't want to do that. I run an email company. I don't like email. Go figure. I need to email my list about this book. Please give me a first draft in a casual, let's say maybe loose tone. No, that's the wrong word. Casual, in a casual tone and friendly style. From my perspective. And you can use ChatGPT has a built-in custom instructions thing, right? So you can actually give it custom instructions. I haven't filled this in. I've deleted it because I'm using it for nonfiction and fiction, and there are two different things here. But you can fill this in before you start prompting, and it's gonna help you craft your style and tone according to what you give it, right? So if I say, hey, I'm sarcastic, I like jokes, humor, whatever, or I'm very serious, I take myself very seriously, I'm very bookish, whatever. You can put all that stuff in there, and it will kind of adhere to that. But I haven't done that because it does a fine job. And again, this is all first draft, so it's going to give me a first draft. I find it doesn't do so good with subject lines, in my opinion. So I'll go through and work on that. But this is a great book marketing activity because everyone needs to write an email about their new book. And this is a great way of just getting that first draft done, right? I don't typically use a lot of emojis, and so I'm going to take those out. hope this email finds you in the midst of a great book. I don't talk like that, so I'm gonna fix that sentence. I'll change it. I'll be like, "Sup, reader? How going on, homie?" I don't know how. I don't know. I don't know how I talk, but I'll change that to me. The point is, there's no white blank canvas here. It gets the job done, right? And then obviously I'll fill in your name. And then, feel free to tweak this draft. Thanks, ChatGPT. I appreciate your permission. Idea generation, as copy. That's supposed to be add copy. Can you write me 5 possible Facebook? Let's say Facebook because it knows what that is. Add descriptions, description texts. Let's say that. So the description box is where I put a lot of my SEO. And what that means is instead of, if you follow the Matthew Holmes model of ads, and which is now my model, I adopted this one, running Facebook ads, I don't worry too much about the audience. I make the audience pretty much all of Facebook narrowed by, US, and then I'll even do male, female, but like a 20-year range. And that's it. That's the whole audience. And then I use the ad itself, this description copy, to actually clarify who this ad is for. Please increase the length of these and don't use emojis or what are those called? Pound signs? Hashtags. So I'll use, the 3 text boxes we have are like the title of the ad, the description, which is what we're doing here. And then there's the, what's it called? Like the short text or something like that. There's another box anyway, that doesn't even really matter. I don't even fill it in. But I will put this in here. So it's got the keywords that we need, which is novel. It knows it's a novel. I'm looking for, so ancient folklore, scientific intrigue, heart-stopping action. This is going to tell Facebook, hey, target it to these people. Target to people who you think will like ancient folklore, scientific intrigue, heart-stopping action in novel format. And I might even add the word thriller because I write thrillers and I want that to be part of all these. Thrilling blend. You can see, so this already is giving us really good stuff to start with. Guys, the point is, if you listen to Matt Holmes, and I've verified this to be true, maybe 1 out of 10 ads are going to even do anything. So why waste all this time writing this stuff from scratch when I can just go in and have it do it for me? So this starts the ad copy. Now I will copy paste this. I'm not even going to tweak a lot of this stuff because it doesn't matter. I'm not selling it. I'm not saying I'm passing it off as mine. I'm literally just making an ad so that I can see if it works, move on, iterate, keep going. Essentially just get the job done quickly because my job isn't running ads. My job is writing books. Cool. Okay. I think that's all I had. There's obviously so much more you can do here. But let me close all this out and I'll answer some questions. We'll go back to the big head view. I can no longer see myself over on the Facebook page, but I can see comments. I see Kevin's and Matt Novotny. I'm assuming you guys are answering Matt's comment about the voice, so I won't talk about that. James kind of jumped in there, beta tested a ChatGPT voice module. It was awesome. If you use OpenAI's Playground, there is voice. You can upload an MP3 file, for example. And so Kevin says you can do it with the iPhone ChatGPT app. Yeah, it's basically just like our phones. We used to be able to text. We can still text. We can also press the microphone and talk. Same sort of deal with the ChatGPT thing. It's got a microphone. You can talk into it. So try that for your dictation. Transcription is probably going to be just as good as Dragon these days because Dragon sucks. They're not improving and they don't like Macs. So anyway, got about 9 minutes left. Happy to answer questions. Dive into that stuff again. I know that was kind of a very quick overview of some of the stuff that I do. There's more. But those are the big ones I think that authors can use this for. You kind of saw a little bit of it wasn't marketing based, but how I interact with ChatGPT for my fiction. Again, I'm not using it to write my fiction. No word in there was written by ChatGPT. It was all from my brain, dictated into a phone or into my recorder. It's up in the car. And then transcribed poorly by Dictate and then well by ChatGPT, OpenAI. And then it comes back and it's pretty well edited because OpenAI is going to fix all that stuff. It's not going to introduce an error if I tell it not to. And so I can go through real quickly. I usually have to beef things up a little bit, expand, whatever. And then I can do all the marketing activities because it knows my book. It's right there. So I'm like, I don't have to explain what the book is about. I can just say, hey, you read the text. You got it in your brain. Give me a book description for this. I don't want to write that. Write me an email first draft so I can go through and just copy paste that and start from there. Remember guys, we're not selling the emails that we have ChatGPT write for us. So I'm not saying that you should just copy and paste it directly from ChatGPT, but don't worry so much about it being your own voice. It's going to get close enough. And you can tweak it, make it your own voice so that it sounds great, sounds like you, and then send it out. Half your people aren't going to see it. Probably 70% of the people aren't even going to open the damn email, right? It's open rates. And even if they do, they're just going to click the link and go buy the book. They're not really actually, they don't care. They don't care. They don't care. Trust me, they don't care. You think they care, they don't care. Now, listen, there's exceptions to all this stuff, right? If you are the type of author who does have a rapport with your audience and they expect these long emails from your heart every week, I don't think you should be doing emails in ChatGPT, right? I'm not telling you that you have to do this. Again, it's not prescriptive. This is all descriptive. But if that is sort of your thing and you're like, no, I love sending me in my emails and it's all just, I mean, this is what I've been doing for 10 years. Don't change that. Don't use ChatGPT for that. You could use ChatGPT to say, hey, I need some topics to talk about. And then you can use those as a time saver and then jump over and write those. Wes asked if I've used Pseudowrite, Jasper, Novel Crafter. I've used Pseudowrite and Jasper. I haven't used Novel Crafter, but I won't say closely, but I'm following along. It looks like a pretty cool tool. Just haven't had time to jump in with that. I like Pseudowrite. I think it is great. They're trying to hit that. They're kind of trying to scratch the itch of fiction expansion tool. It's generative text still, but it's actually producing fiction. And it does a decent job. It gets a little bogged down. Are they still calling it story engine? In the story engine, when you try to have it do a whole draft, 50,000 words, I find that it gets a little repetitive. It starts to forget. But again, that was 6 months ago, and this stuff changes hourly. So it could be very different, way better. I don't know. I just don't use it. It's never been something that I've needed. Like I said, I enjoy the writing process enough that I want to produce the fiction, and I'm happy to not sacrifice or to sacrifice, my time and energy so that I can maintain that. Right? Again, I'm not telling you I have to do it that way, but one thing I have tried with Pseudowrite was taking fiction that was in first person and using a filter. And again, they probably improve this now, but using it to change it to third person. So you can do things like that. Pseudowrite works really well for that, but ChatGPT can probably do that as well. Joan, I've used Claude to write my book descriptions, such a time saver. Yeah, I've never used Claude for that. I just kind of jumped all in with ChatGPT once it started doing that kind of stuff for me. My only experience with Claude was trying to get the Claude bot in my personal Harvey Bennett Slack channel. I share it with a bunch of other writers, and it was abysmal. It was horrendous. It was like everything you would ask it. It was like, I am Claude, an AI bot trying to make sure that we preserve equity and equality. It was a whole weird, like, pre-canned response we'd get for everything. It wouldn't do anything. Now, to be fair, it was a bunch of guys making, dirty jokes, but, I wasn't impressed with Claude. Not to say that it isn't better now. Sneha says, make the AI do the grunt work you don't want to do. That's it exactly, right? If I had all the money in the world, I would outsource this stuff to a human because I like working with people. I just don't have all the money in the world. So I'm going to use Super Meme to create these images. At least start. And I don't know if you could see in there, but when I was doing that, you can click the text and change it. So it's not like it's solidified. Like I could literally do that all the time. I'll find one that I like and I'll click the text, change a word or two or whatever, to make it more my own. But you don't have to. You can just download it as is. But the point is, yeah, I would hire somebody to do that, but it's not really worth the money that would cost to hire somebody good enough. So that's kind of the catch-22, right? It's like, well, I don't want to hire a Fiverr person because they don't understand what I'm after as much as hiring somebody that's local and all that, but they're going to require more money. James says he works for cheap. What I would do, honestly, and this is kind of what I'm looking for, so if anyone's listening and is interested in this, I do have the funds to pay somebody to do this AI stuff for me, right? It's like I can't pay you to be the creative, like I can't pay the $150 an hour for you to create this stuff, but I absolutely can pay the button pusher who understands what I'm after, has seen it, I can train you. I would pay somebody $1 an hour for, I'm just kidding. I'd give somebody a pretty decent rate for some of that. Couple hours a week, right? Like it wouldn't be that much. So if you're looking for a little tiny part-time sort of thing, let me know. But just generating all this content, right? Content is king. I do believe that. Our books are content, of course, but we spend so much time and effort and sometimes money producing these books, and then we have nothing left to produce all the other content that we need to market that book, right? Does that make sense? Like, I should have led with that. That's really kind of the takeaway here is you wrote 80,000 words, you wrote 100,000 words, and you published it, and all the work that was required to do that, and not a damn person knows about it because you don't have the energy to go write the email to send it out. Or maybe that's all you've got the energy for, and you write one email and hope for the best. You're supposed to tweet, and you're supposed to put on Facebook that you have a book, and then you can't just do it once. You got to do it 7 times a day. Like, how are you supposed to come up with all that crap? Right? Don't worry about doing that. You still need to do it. I do believe social media is important, but use these tools to help you. Use these tools to at least get the ball rolling, to at least generate some of the ideas. If not, take the tweet thread, copy paste it, and be done. Like, again, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. You can certainly do that if it works and it's perfect. Yeah, Matt says, hoping there'd be an add-in for different platforms to be able to build universe Bibles from existing material. Man, I thought about this a couple years ago. I was like, this is what we need. We need some way of, it was originally before AI, I was thinking the concept would be like a wiki where my readers would go in and add the information they wanted. Hey, I'm reading this book. Cause I forget, what animals were at the Paradise Park that, Paradise Key had. And so just having that stuff in like a wiki form would be great, but AI could absolutely do this. We train a model that can handle, and I think we're there. I think we've got one that you can feed it your own, basically you're making a small language model and then running it on a local machine or GPU or whatever. Absolutely. I think we're on the cusp of that for sure. Yeah. Bonus if it fills out character, location, and item forms. Robin says AutoCrit's new story analyzer is heading that direction. That's cool. I mean, how helpful would that be, right? To be like, hey, I just put all 15 of my Harvey Bennett books in there. It's got them organized, categorized by title. but then narrow by character. When do they die? When do they, when was the kid born? Like whatever. That would be really helpful for me, because a lot of times I'm like, oh, this character, I'm gonna bring this character back. Oh, I forgot I killed that character. I kill everybody. I can't stop killing. I'm a serial killer. Hope that doesn't end up in the recording. Sorry, NSA. Yeah, one more minute. If anyone's got any last minute parting thoughts, parting shots, whatever, feel free to drop it in there. Once again, thanks for watching, guys. I am sorry about the tech stuff in the middle. Glad we got it organized and worked out. I think what's going on is my computer, my MacBook Pro, has a power module failure. And so 2 of the USB-C ports on one side don't even work anymore. So I'm running all this junk from literally one side of the machine, and it's a lot. I've got a light running on USB. I've got this microphone. I've got the computer itself. And then, of course, this gigantic monitor. And then don't forget my audio interface with 2 huge monitor speakers. There's a lot it's running. And so it's like working like a champ. It's ancient. It's from 2017. Thanks, guys. Yeah, thanks, James. You are the man. Glad this was helpful. I just wanted you guys to see it. I'm like, hey, this is just the way I do it. Like, if you watch Kevin do this, it's probably a whole different thing. And I would be super interested to see that. But the point is, start looking at this stuff because it's not going anywhere. You should at least understand how we're using this, because if you see me publishing all these books and you think, oh, you're just using AI to write them. No, I'm not. But I am absolutely using these tools to create the content, the supplemental material that goes with them. 100%. Right or wrong, I'm on the side that I think that's totally fine. But that's, hey, it's an opinion. I wanted you guys to see this because I hope that it serves you as you go forward in 2024 and beyond in the world of Skynet that's going to take over the world and just write your books for you. Wish you the best. Thanks for hanging out with me today. We'll be back next week. If you are in our Author Ascend program, I know Joan, I think Robin's in there. If you're not, Tracy, hey, yeah, if you're in Author Ascend, I apologize for delaying. I was sick and it was like not bad enough to be bedridden, but I just couldn't talk for like 2 weeks. But I'm gonna try to change the schedule. What I want to do is Tuesday and Thursday and then a Tuesday. So starting next week, we'll do Tuesday, and I don't know what time, and then Thursday we'll do the it'll be overview call and then implementation call Thursday, and then we'll do Q&A the next Tuesday. So we'll just get everything done in like a 7-day period. That's gonna work better for my schedule, at least for the foreseeable future. So we'll try that. But as always, if you're not an Author Ascend, jump in there. It's like, I don't know, $35 a month, $29 a month, and we dig into this kind of stuff, but then kind of do a lot more back and forth and then kind of a coaching style, if you will, learning from the class kind of stuff. And it's got all the supplemental material. So workbooks that I'm creating, those are all free. Any long form nonfiction I've written, those are all free, or included, I should say. And then, and you can access the videos later and ask questions about it later. You don't have to be on the live calls. So go check that out. Learn.bookcareerinayear.com. Click on the join us at the top. I think that's what it is. Anyway, yeah, I'll send an email about that. Don't worry, guys. Tuesday is kind of what I'm hoping will work. So we'll see. I'm going to run. I got to put some food in my gullet, and we will catch you next week. Catch you outside. on the flip side.